Alright, hello guys, welcome to my channel, Mr. Ade Ayobet Predict. So in today's video, we are going to be combining two strategies and we are going to apply it on some of our games today, which happens to be weekend, and we have enough games to go into. So the two strategies that I'll be looking into are the booking strategy or the over under yellow card betting strategy, and also the corner predictions, which is basically on the over point. So right now I'll be starting with the first games that we are having based on how they are listed on this particular live bets app. And the first league that I'm going into right now is the Premier League, and I'll be looking into the match between Brentford and Bournemouth. So there are two ways that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use the corner prediction on it first before I move on to the booking predictions. And don't forget, in the last video that I made about how to predict the corner over or under, I told you guys that you only need to look into the last two games. You don't need to even stress yourself looking at their average points or looking so much like that. So, and this will be very fast, but we need to avoid games that are not Premier League games like this one that I just circled. So let us quickly check the total corner that Brentford had in their last game, which happens to be against Fulham. Okay, looking at this, they had a total number of 14 corners in this particular game, and in the match they had with against Ipswich, the total corner they had there happens to be 9. So adding 14 and 9 together, surely we are getting 23. Okay, alright. So now let us go to the away team and check the last two games of the away team. So the last two games of the away team. So the match between Bournemouth and Manchester City. But before we move on, I want to let you guys know something. If a game that we do the analysis on does not meet the requirement of predicting it as corner, then we are going to apply our booking code, our booking or yellow card strategy on it, and so that we have enough games to go on with it. So I'm going to use this particular method to predict this particular games to some extent, and you guys will continue with it. And if we have anybody that can work with me on this particular betting strategy, I think we can work together. They should DM and let's work together on it, because it can be very stressful when it comes to using this particular betting strategy. But if you can work with me very well on it, so you can DM. I'm going to drop our WhatsApp group link, our Telegram channel. You can contact me through those groups. So the match between Bournemouth and Manchester City, we have a total number of corner here, which happens to be 13. Okay, and looking at the last one again, because we are checking the last two games. Okay, they add 16 corner here. Alright, so for the away team, which happens to be Bournemouth, the total corner that they had in their last two games against other opponents happens to be 29 corner. So adding 23, which happens to be the total corner that the home team had in their last two games, with 29 that the away team had in their last two games. Let us quickly do the calculation. Alright, so we are currently having a 52. Alright, 52 as the total corner that both teams had in their last two games against other opponents. Now this is what you just need to do next. You don't forget, we also have their head to head. This one will give us an insight on how they've been performing against each other. So the way I'm seeing this particular game, I'm expecting enough corner in this particular game. So now looking at the last two games against each other, so in this particular match, they had a total number of 11 corners. That is 3 and 8. Okay, and looking at the other one, let's check this. So this one, okay, they had a 7 corner here. Alright, 7. So adding 7 with 11, that is 18. So don't forget, the 18 that we got from their last two games against each other, we are going to add it up with the total number of corners that they had against other team, which happens to be 52. Adding 18 and 52 together. Alright, so we got 70. So we are going to divide it by 6. And where did I get that particular 6 that I'm dividing it? I got it from, we checked the last two games of the home team, the last 2 games of the away team, and the last 3 games against each other. Adding these particular games together, we've gotten 6 matches that they've played against each other and against other teams. So dividing the total corner by 6, we are getting the average point. So this is the average point, which happens to be 11.6. So to be on a safe side, this is what I do. I always divide this particular average point by 2, because getting average point doesn't mean that will be the actual outcome of your game. So it will just only give you an insight of what you should be expecting. And in games, sometimes corner happens to be one of the very hardest market to go for when it comes to predictions. So now I'm going to divide this by 2, and I'm going to get 5.8. Don't forget, if you have watched the video on how to predict corner, the new ultimate corner betting strategy, I just uploaded the video. I explained to you guys that whenever you are able to get something like 5.5 and above after dividing the average point, there are games that you should be expecting high corner games. There are games that are expected to end up in high corner, compared to games that after dividing it by 2, you are getting something like 4.5, 4 or 3. Those games are games that even if you predict it as over 4, there is high probability of the games ending up as under 4. So whenever you are able to divide this particular stuff by 2, that is, you are able to divide the average points by 2, and you are able to get something like this, maybe 5.5, 5.0, 5.86 and above, like that, they are good to go as over. So now this is what we are going to predict this particular game as over 5.0 corner. So let us look at it on the bet platform that we have here. Alright, so let's see if we are going to get the market from the bookmaker. So this particular market, you will not really find it on all bet platform, but you can easily get it from this place, because they can offer you guys with low market. Alright, so unfortunately we don't have, since the bookmakers already know that this particular game should end up in a high corner game. So for me, I'm going to avoid this particular game since the market was not provided, because because if you look at it, sure, this game is supposed to end up even in over 7.5 or over 8.5, because if you look at the average point, you can see that it is around 11, and you should be able to go for something that is around maybe 8, 7. But I've explored this particular strategy to the extent that I've discovered that this happens to be the best way to make use of it. So let us just keep this particular game and look into the aspect of the booking market. So alright, in order not to just ignore this particular game, and so that we won't waste it and go for other games, we are going to apply the booking method on it, that is the over or under booking market. So if you check on it, I made a video on how to predict over and under booking, and what we mean by booking means predicting over yellow card or red card, and expecting this particular market too happens to be one of the hardest to go for, because this market too can be influenced by the kind of referee that was used, that officiates the game. So if you have a referee that does not take any nonsense on the pitch, there's probability of getting a yellow card. But when I make use of this particular start, I don't really focus on other factors like that, because they can take a long time. So this is what I do if I want to predict my yellow card predictions. I just look into the average yellow card that each team got in the last previous games against other teams and against each other, and that is mostly based on the last 5 games of the home team and the last 5 games of the away team. So we are going to look into that, and but it is based on the team alone. So we are going to look into Brentford games against other teams. So if we look at against Fulham, they only had just one yellow card here. And looking at the next game, because I'm going to skip that, maybe probably cup games, I'm going to skip that. So they had one yellow card there, and they didn't have any yellow card here. And looking at against Manchester United, they had just 2. So in the last 3 games, they had 3 yellow cards. And looking against Wolves, they had just 2, making 5 yellow cards. And looking against West Ham, they had just 2, so making 7. So for Brentford, you can see that they had just 7 yellow cards in the last 5 games against other teams within this particular same league of Premier League. So now we are going to move on to the away team to check their last 5 games, also to check if at least they were able to have enough yellow cards in the games. So now looking at Bournemouth, and in the last game they had against Manchester City, they had just 2 yellow cards for Brentford. And checking for against Aston Villa, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, okay. They had a 6 yellow card against Aston Villa, and adding it by 2 that they had against Manchester City, we can get 8 yellow card from that. And moving on to the against Arsenal, they had let me check. Okay, they had just 1 yellow card against Arsenal, making 9 yellow card. And against Leicester, they had just 1 yellow card, making 10 yellow cards in the last 4 games. And against Southampton, they had just 2 yellow cards, making 12 yellow cards. So in the last 5 games for the away team, which happens to be Bournemouth, they had just 12 yellow cards. So first, let us deal with the home team yellow card of 7. The home team yellow card of 7. So we divide it by 5 to get the average yellow card that they had in the last 5 games. So the home team had at least 1.4 yellow card per match in the last 5 games that they had against other teams. And looking at Bournemouth, they had 12 yellow card in the last 5 games, dividing it by 5. So they have the average yellow card of 2.4 per match in the last 5 games against other teams. Alright, so now we need to move on to the last 5 games against each other, which happens to be their head-to-head, because checking the last games against other teams alone is not that enough, to get the actual booking points that you should be expecting from a game. So now if we have to look into this particular game against each other, so the total yellow card is what we are going to be looking into here. Alright, so let us check. So they had 4 yellow cards in total in this particular game. Alright, and let us check the next one. So this particular match ended up in 2-2. Let's check the yellow card there. Alright, so the total yellow card they had there also happens to be just 3. Okay, so we check the third game. So this game ended up in 2-0, Brentford winning. So they had just 2 yellow cards in total in this particular game also. Alright, let's check the fourth game. Okay, this game ended up in 0-0. And looking at the yellow card there, okay, they had just 3 yellow cards here also. And checking the last 5 games, the last game, and let's look at it. So they had just a 6 yellow card in this particular game. Alright, so adding all these figures together, let us quickly do this. So we have 4 plus 3. Okay. Alright, so in the last 5 games against each other, they had a total number of 18 yellow card in the last 5 games against each other. Now dividing it by 5 to get the average point of their yellow card against each other gives us 3.6. And don't forget, in the last for the home team, the last 5 games that they had against other team, the average yellow card that they got happens to be 1.4. And for the away team, the average yellow card they had in the last 5 games against other team happens to be 2.4, and we are able to get the total average point of 7.4 in short. And dividing this thing by 2, we are getting average point of 3.7. So in case you want to predict this particular market as over yellow card or not, I would probably advise you guys to just go for over 1.5 yellow card or over 2.5. But one problem about it is just that we may not really find this particular market of booking in just anyhow bet platforms. Each bet platform has their own way of attracting their customers. But hold on, let me quickly check this. Alright, so let's check this particular. Okay, this is yellow card. Okay, the bookmakers are currently providing us the market for the over yellow card of over 2 at odd of 1.115. But there's another thing that I would like to let you guys know, in case you are able to access another bet platform, that I would like to recommend for you guys, in case you want to go for booking code predictions, that is over yellow card or red card. Because let me show you something. So the difference between the yellow card from this particular bet platform that is giving us options of over 2 yellow card at odd of 1.11 odd is that if the game ended up in, maybe probably the game they had 3 yellow card in that game, you are going to win your bet on this. Maybe they eventually ended up in having 3 yellow card, you will win. But one thing about this situation is that if the game ended up in just 2 yellow card, remember the game lost already. But in this particular platform, if let me see, they are also providing us over 2.5 booking at odd of 1.13 odd. But one advantage of this particular platform is that in this game, if the match ended up in just 1 yellow card and 1 red card, the red card serve as 2 yellow card, and that is how this is calculated. If this match ended up in 1 yellow card and 1 red card, you already won your game, because the red card represents 2 yellow card, making it 1 yellow card and 2 yellow card from the red card. And I don't know how to explain this thing to make you guys understand better. Imagine that the home team had 1 yellow card and they had 1 red card. 1 yellow card means 1 yellow card, right? But in this particular situation, 1 red card means 2 yellow card. And if you are adding 1 and these 2 together, you got 3, and you already won your game with this particular option. So that's why I would like to recommend you guys to, in case you want to go for predicting booking, it's better you make use of this particular bet platform for your booking prediction. But for corner predictions, I think this particular bet platform happens to be the save. In case you want to go for the save option, I think this is better, because you will be offered very low market, that will make your bet safe. In case you happen to be someone that likes to stake very high, this happens to be the best option in case you are going to be using this particular 2 betting strategies. Alright, so I may not be able to go more further for this particular betting strategy because of the time that will be taking. So I want you guys to ask a question in case you have any questions regarding to this particular betting strategies of over under corner or over yellow card, or booking code, you can call it anyhow, booking or over yellow card. So in case you have any question regarding it, you can drop it in the comment section. And also, if you want to join me in doing analysis, maybe probably you can do analysis very well, you can actually contact me on our social media platform so that we can work together. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like our video, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't. Bye.